The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it is Saturday, and we all know what that means. It's time for weekly purchases, that time of the week where we investigate what came through the door via DHL, Amazon, UPS, United States Postal Service, and of course, the bane of my existence, old FedEx, and FedEx did me dirty this week. If you guys watched on the channel, we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. And of course, that old outlaw, Waylon Jennings, he came in extra hot this week, and we'll talk about that as well in weekly purchases. But we also talk the toy news of the week. We wrap it all up into a ball. We call it weekly purchases. And of course, we always start these off with a recap of what happened on the channel. A busy week on the channel. It's busy every single week on the channel. I'm a broken record at this point, but this week we unboxed Cassian Andor and the Jedha Stormtrooper from the Star Wars Black Series, of course. The brand new Terror Claws Skeletor figure from Mattel Masters Universe Origins. We unboxed that this week. A little bit of a sad not an unboxing, but a review. We took a look at Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, and the Hardy Boys Ringside Collectible Exclusive Deluxe Classic Superstars. And I don't know if you guys watched that video or not, but that was the final deep dive into the Jakks Classic Superstars series. We've done over 2 years of videos every single Tuesday on the channel, talking all things Jakks Classic Superstars. So now we're going to pivot a little bit. We've covered everything. We've covered every Classic Superstars figure known to man. We've talked about them at length on the channel. Now we're pivoting. I am going to merge into a few ancillary sets. We'll do some of those, but we're also going to talk top 5, top 10 lists, I think is what we need to do. We've covered it for 2 years. I might as well give my top 10 list of single carded figures, 2 packs, 3 packs. You get the idea there. And then you guys who followed along, you could do the exact same thing. So we'll have a few best of videos, I guess we'll call those. But very fun. And then a little farther down the line, we're going to transition to some Jakks Classic Superstars unboxings. Before, we covered what was going on in wrestling. We covered where we were finding the figures. We were talking about the figures. Well, now we're going to do it totally different. We're going to unbox them here on the channel. So some of those might hurt my heart unboxing, but we got to do it. We got to do it for science. So still a lot of Jakks Classic Superstar content to go on the channel. I know there's a lot of diehards like myself in the Jakks Classic Superstars game. And speaking of Jakks Classic Superstars, we unveiled episode number 5. Yes, you heard it. Number 5 actually is coming Sunday, tomorrow, so Easter Sunday. Stay tuned for that. But episode 4, we launched on the channel this week. It was on the Patreon weeks ago. All the content, of course, goes on Patreon much earlier. Thank all the 50-plus people that subscribe to the Patreon at this point. Just a couple of weeks in. Everybody, it's appreciated a lot. You guys don't know how much it's appreciated. Very cool that you'd be interested in following along. As you guys know, we got all kinds of early video premieres on there. Weeks, sometimes months, and we got a lot of videos. I think there's always at least about 20 videos that have not launched on traditional YouTube. A lot of deep cut videos, a lot of pizza reviews, bonus content, stuff like that on Patreon. And then, of course, the monthly giveaway, which this month of April, we're giving away the Playmates Turtle Van. So if you want to be a top tier member, get your name in the hat for the giveaway of the Turtle Van. But a lot of classic, rounding it back out, a lot of classic content on the channel, on the Patreon, coming at you very soon. So stay tuned for all that. We also unboxed 2 loads of turtles this week. We unboxed the Loyal Subjects 4 turtles. Very interesting. Some good, some bad, some ugly with these, but we unboxed those 4 for science once again. And then we unboxed the NECA Cartoon Ninja Turtle 4-pack Target exclusive from the Holothon event. We unboxed those turtles as well. So Turtle Mania, rolling hard, running free. We also had some interesting unboxings on the channel this week. Really, and we're going to deep dive into this, into the news aspect. But the Batista Ultimate Edition, we came through with that. We unboxed that on the channel on Monday. Got to thank Toys for Life Facebook group founder Dougie out there. He helped me out, let me unbox his Batista to do a review, so that was very much appreciated from him, so thank him once again. But we did unbox that Ultimate Edition Batista on the channel this week. Target exclusive, and like I said, we're going to talk a lot about that in the news, so stay tuned for that. Going to hopefully clarify a few things about that and a few other things. And those other things, Thor, Love and Thunder, Marvel Legends wave. If you guys watch my action figure hunt video, of course, every Friday, I found it right off the bat. First thing Monday morning at my local Walmart, found a case, found the entire wave, went to the register, picked them up, reviewed all those on the channel this week. So if you wanted to check out those new Marvel Legend Thor figures, the reviews are all up on the channel right now. Check those out. We also did our weekly top 5, top 10 depending, and next week will be a top 10 because I got to thank all you guys out there. We hit 15,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. Very thankful for all you guys supporting the channel. So this week we did the top 5 deep cut Mattel figures. A fun one. Love to hear your guys' list there. They got to be deep cut though, but very cool list of top 5. Check that one out. Next week though, we're going big. We're going to with one of the most requested ones ever. That should be up on Patreon Sunday, so stay tuned for that, you Patreon members. But top 10 Undertaker. Yes, Undertaker. No biker taker. This is just straight up dead man taker versions. That's what we're doing, a top 10. Very fitting as we transition. It seems like these 2 weeks on the channel are really Undertaker weeks as we unboxed the Ringside Collectible exclusive Undertaker SummerSlam 2001 figure. A mixed bag figure. Unfortunately, mine came damaged. I know some people in the comments were blaming Ringside. You can't blame Ringside for it. I mean, the box looked like it was stepped on. They don't step on stuff at the Ringside warehouse and put it in a mailer to ship it to you. It happened on FedEx's watch. Honestly, it sucks to get damaged, but I'd rather have it happen to me than one of you guys out there that are collecting mint on card. I'm going to open it anyway, so it's not the end of the world for me. But one of you guys that wants mint on card, it is a real bummer out there. But we did unbox that Undertaker, and then finally, after years of clamoring, years of saying we need this figure, it's the figure gods shined down on Kyle, and they said, you know what, we're going to do it. And I got to thank that old outlaw Waylon Jennings as he found those for me. We're talking Mean Mark Callis from Legends series, Target exclusive. Finally got that in my collection. Finally unboxed. I really enjoyed that one. Very cool to finally get that in figure form. I've been a fan for so long. Very cool to get that deep cut. I got to thank Bill McKenna because he was a champion of that as well over at Mattel. So very, very fun to get that one. And then the final video of the week, I mean, there was a couple other ones I'm sure I missed, but we did the final one of the WWE Walmart Superstar Series, Series 1 Ric Flair. So we did unbox that, and then I ranked the entire line from my favorite to my least favorite, like we always do. So there you go. So now we transition to the news this week. And of course, the news is brought to you by Zavvi. Use code Kyle Peterson to save 10% off all in-stock items, 20% off clothing, and 10% off Lego. So there you go. Zavvi, thank you for supporting the channel. But let's get down to the news this week. And a very slow news week. Easter week, maybe a lot of people off. Not a ton of news. Just 3 little bullet points we'll talk about. But the big news this week was street dates. I think if there was a word of the week, be it Marvel Legends, be it WWE, it was street dates. And street dates is something I've had to deal with in my actual business career, my time at my real job. And then it's something I've known about as being a big heavy metal music collector for most of my life as well. And I guess let's talk a little bit street dates. Let's talk about reasons why they happen, things like that, because not everybody understands all that, and I get it. It's a little tough to understand unless you've been around it for a long time. But street dates are exactly that. A street date, be it whatever day it is, April 15th, let's say it is, that is the street date. It is allowed to be sold through the register. Things are on lockdown, etc. Now, street dates are historically known for, like I mentioned earlier, music and DVDs, album releases, things like that. Street dates are things to get hyped for. There's a new video game coming out. It's coming out on April 26th. So they announce it to let you anticipate, know when it's coming, know when to show up at the store, to be able to pick these things up. Now, are always items available for street dates? No. And most items do have street dates, believe it or not, but most people don't care about street dates on some things. You know, grocery items, every new bag of Cheetos, bag of Little Bites from Entenmann's, they have street dates, believe it or not. And this is the day they will be available to the customers to sell through the registers and all that. They will come in the door to be able to be sold. A lot of people don't get too excited about new food release dates. They just see it. They see commercials afterwards, things like that. But action figures is a different business. It's a different world for sure. People are highly anticipating these things. They want to be able to show up to the store on that day and pick it up. Well, nothing is perfect in this world for sure, as we saw, especially this week. We'll talk about Batista. We'll talk about the Thor Love and Thunder Marvel Legends wave. But like I said, CDs and DVDs, that was away, street dates. And retailers got in trouble. They would get fined historically for selling things early, before the street date. So obviously you're a retailer out there, you're a mom and pop, you're a Target, whatever. You don't want to be fined for these street dates. You don't want that to happen. You can get in trouble. You know, I know some people have said, oh, they said they couldn't sell it because Mattel will pull all their toys. Well, guess what? Mattel's not pulling all their toys from Target and Walmart. That is their bread and butter. That is their cash cow. But street dates historically for toys, the reasoning is a movie release, Thor Love and Thunder. You don't want those toys out before the movie, or you want to time it traditionally with the movie. Been very tough, as we've seen with COVID, with Eternals, Shang-Chi waves, things like that. So there's some history there. But they want to time it with the trailer drop or a Hasbro announcement, whatever. For me, for this Love and Thunder wave, I would say shame on you, Hasbro, is what my gut says, because guess what? You ship these things from China, you ship them, and you know where it's going. You know they're in the Walmart warehouse, Target warehouse, wherever. Guess what? The minute they hit those warehouses, you might as well just say, hey, they've been released, because there's always somebody with a camera phone in this world. There's always somebody. I know it was last weekend. I think they were announced via a camera phone picture. And Hasbro, I don't know if they were mad, but obviously they weren't happy that was the way the wave was announced. I get that. It is unfortunate, but that's real world. That's the world we live in right now. Nothing can really be a secret so much. That being said, it was really cool to get these figures. You see a picture of them on Saturday, and Monday morning you're picking them up. That is pretty cool. I love excitement. We've talked about that on the channel before. It is great to be able to be surprised in the toy aisles. That's how it was in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s for the most part. You showed up, you were shocked, you were surprised. It was just fun. Later on, of course, when people started finding out when things were released, that's when scalpers got involved and everything. Well, everybody had a even playing field back then, so it was a lot funner time to collect. It's still fun now, but there was some mystery and some magic. You truly never knew what you might see when you went to the stores, and that's what I got a little bit of that vibe from this Love and Thunder thing. Very cool there. But the timed releases of these, the Love and Thunder, timed around the movie, the trailer, all that kind of stuff. And it sounds like there should have been a locked street date in place, and later on it was put in for April 26th. But however, lucky for Kyle, early Monday morning, I go to my local Walmart, right on the top of the pallet, there is the case. I grab it, I talk to the associate, they said, yeah, sure, go for it. I go to the register, everything's scanned totally fine. No issues, checked out just like normal, everything was good. Tuesday, locked register street date was implied. If anybody tried to buy these on Tuesday, they got the dreaded call associate over. The associate comes over, oh, this is street dated, we can't sell it, they take it from you, and so forth. If I'm an associate, a cashier, I'm following the rules my company has put in place. I'm not risking termination, I'm not risking anything like that. They're doing the right thing, as much as it absolutely sucks, and we're going to talk about that as well a little bit later. But they did end up pulling this from the customer. Everybody's mad, all that kind of stuff. They're just doing their job. Shame on Hasbro for getting these out there and having them released. That was part of the mistake. It's just such a big picture. But these street dates, a lot of time too, we talked about their time for movie events, things like that. Another big thing for street dates is resets, mod sets, depending on what company you're working with, the resets of the toy aisle. And I have to think there is a toy aisle mini reset coming very soon, as I'm seeing a lot of Walmarts and Targets currently putting a lot of stuff to discount to make room for new stuff that is coming. And that's what it is. Hey, don't put this out till this. We need to sell through that old inventory, the old Ultimates or whatever in Batista's case, and then we'll put this one out. Now, one thing is that a lot of people have given me grief on some of my videos, social media posts and stuff, as you theoretically can be arrested if you take a Batista and you grab an Undertaker Ultimate, you take them up into the register, and you scan 2 Undertakers, and you didn't scan that Batista. Guess what? That is retail fraud. I know people are just like, oh my gosh, people in California steal stuff all the time. I get it, I understand, but I'm talking technicalities. It is truly retail fraud. Now, me being around the grocery business, working with Target, working with Walmart, knowing people throughout, Believe me, stories are told between companies. Think of your roles in your companies you work for. People swap stories. Here's what happened. You won't believe this. Well, guess what? People do retail fraud all the time. They might grab, let's say, here's a perfect instance. And Target, Walmart, whoever, they paint with a brush. The same brush for everybody. They have to. That's the way things work. How about somebody comes up, I'm trying to think of a video game. Okay, they come up with a magazine and a video game, and they scan the magazine and put the magazine and the DVD video game in their into their sack, and they move on. Well, guess what? They paid $5 for that magazine. It was a $50 video game. I think we would all agree that is wrong. You scanned the wrong thing. A lot of people are saying and justifying it to themselves, well, the Undertaker Ultimate and Batista Ultimate, they're the same thing. They're the same price point, everything else. Target, Walmart, any corporation doesn't look at it that way. At the end of the day, it's retail fraud. I don't care what price you're doing it, it is fraud. And it's no different than that extreme example where you scan a cheap magazine for a really expensive video game. It's how they paint that brush, and you can be trouble. And guess what? All those solo checkout things, there's cameras in all those, and there's people in those rooms. Yes, there actually are people. I've been in those rooms. I've seen them in there doing it. They sit there and they watch everything. And they watch people do that. They watch people skip scanning stuff. Things like that happen every day, all the time. Now, I guess it's up to that store how lax they are, how much they get after it. But I have personally seen people in those detention rooms sitting in there for doing this. And people call me crazy, like you don't know what you're talking about. But I live in that world working with Targets, Walmarts, rural grocers, things like that. This stuff happens. Trust me, it does. What are the chances? Are you going to be thrown away? They're going to lock away the key? Probably not. What they're probably going to do to you is file a little police report or something. I don't think you'll get taken anywhere. You don't get arrested usually. They'll take your picture. They're going to put you on the wall. You're going to be banned from that store. That is what happens in these instances. Obviously, there's different things going on everywhere else. If there's something super expensive, like you're trying to get a $2,000 TV, hey, guess what? Maybe the cops will arrest you. I'm not sure. But talking about littler theft and stuff like that, it definitely happens. People, like I said, think I'm absolutely crazy saying that, but I have witnessed it with my own eyes. I have seen it. I've actually been a part of it before where I'm trying to scan a candy bar or a Mountain Dew as I'm checking out, and I scan it, it doesn't go, and I scan it again, it goes, I put it in there. And I've had associates come over to me and that were watching on the cameras and say, hey, we just wanted to check it because I was fumbling with it and it looked like I was doing something when I just couldn't get the UPC to ring. That's the way it goes. That's the world we're into. That's exactly what happens. So I don't know if it's happened to any of you guys, if you want to share in the comments down below, but that is one of those things. But then here's the other big thing. And now here's the problem everybody else is complaining about. I'm seeing so many social media posts about this Batista. I went there, it said they had 2 on hand, they don't have it, they can't find it, they don't know what's going on. Well, you know what happened? Somebody before you grabbed that Undertaker, they scanned 2 Undertakers, took the Batista. Now on-hand inventory counts are a mess. And that's one of the other reasons they prosecute or kick you out of the store, whatever it may be at your local store. Because guess what? Now the inventory system is messed up, which creates reorders. Usually there's triggers on everything that's bought in these stores. You buy the Batista, it says, hey, a Batista sold, it triggers to order another one. And they set the triggers at, we sell 5 Batistas, order more. We sell 2 Batistas, order more. Whatever that store wants to do. Your results may vary on the store. So that triggers reorders. So now it's going to show 2 Batistas in the system. Doesn't need to reorder them because it thinks it's there. And you're not going to have any new Batistas coming your way because it shows inventory. So you're ruining it for other people's. It's just a big mess. There shouldn't be a street date on some of this stuff. I understand. I think Love and Thunder, there should have been a street date right off the bat. Very early. They should have probably announced it a lot earlier. Batista, that doesn't feel as special as a movie release, anything like that. It's just a regular release figure. It's just an absolute mess, but I wanted to talk a little bit about these street dates. Love and Thunder moving to April 26th, so you can't buy them till then. Like I said, I was very fortunate. A lot of people were fortunate to get it before the street date was enacted, but street dates are there for a reason. It is a little bit of a dated thing in most instances, but you just got to take the retailer's point of view. They are a business at the end of the day. They're trying to make their business functional, operate. Now they have to go in, zero out these Batistas. And there's the other problem is a lot of these stores do quarterly inventory. So unless they figure it out at the toy manager or whatever, and guess what? Most toy managers, they got a big aisle. They don't care about Batista. They're not fixing those on-hands. If they're not fixing, you got to wait for the quarterly inventory where they count everything. They adjust their on-hands. all that. So it's an interesting dynamic. It's an interesting thing, but it's been around for a long time, and I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. So just know a little bit more about your street dates, know what you're up to, and be careful out there is all I can say. That's my number one advice. Be careful out there. So a little long-winded diatribe rant about street dates and stuff, and yeah, we can talk more about that stuff if you are so inclined on the channel, if you want to hear more about it in the future. But let's get down to some of the talk of the week, some of the news of the week. And like I said, very, very slow news week. One thing I wanted to mention, you guys know I'm a sucker for a FOCO bobblehead, FOCO. I have all the Ultimate Warrior ones, of course. You might see one later in this video. But they have $1 Million Man coming out. I thought that was interesting enough, and I actually thought this looked like a very good bobblehead. We don't talk a ton of bobbleheads, but this one I wanted to point out. I really did like the looks of this one. So search it in your usual spots. FOCO, of course. You could pick this one up if you are so inclined and you're a big $1 Million Man fan. Get after it. That's all I can say. Marvel Legends, we know they have a big live stream announcement, a big live stream on YouTube, I think Tuesday or Wednesday this upcoming week. They were probably going to officially announce the Thor Love and Thunder. I'm sure they'll joke about that a little bit. That said, the wind got taken out of our sails a bit. But they also announced, coming in 2023, Spider-Man No Way Home figures, and that's usually what we've seen and what we've talked about in the past is they don't get to see the movies beforehand. They put out figures based on some stills and some pictures, and then about a year later, you get the figures you really want, or a couple years later in some instances. So I think next year, 2023, which I wouldn't be shocked to see the end of 2022, but it's going to be Spider-Man Mania at this point, so be ready for that. We knew it was coming. That movie was so popular. We're going to have Green Goblin. We'll have Doc Ock. We'll have all the usual suspects out of there. You just know that's going to be coming. Last Saturday, during weekly purchases, I think when it was premiering, we saw pictures of the brand new Dr. Mindbender, and I have to assume this is going to be the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, a little bit of a deluxe pack action here. Dr. Mindbender with a lot of scientist stuff, things like that. I would not be shocked to not see a retail release later on down the line. Very similar to how we saw Zartan last year. That's how I expect it to go. But we'll see if it shakes out that way. But it's a very good-looking Dr. Mindbender, of course. Looks just like him. A welcome addition to the classified line. This thing will probably be $100, though. Not really liking that price point a whole lot. But I got to think we'll have more news about them in the future. So there you go. Really no news this week. It was just a little street date talk. Wanted to cover that. A couple of new figure announcements, but that's it. Maybe we'll ramp up with some news next week with the Marvel Legends live stream. We'll see what comes out of all that. I will say Chicago area, St. Charles, Illinois to be specific, April 24th is the big Kane County Toy Show. I am planning on making the journey up there, so hopefully I see some of you guys up there. I hear it's one of the best toy shows around, so this will be my first trip around the sun with this toy show, so I'm excited to see what I can pick up. I'm getting a little list together of things I'm looking for, playing a little of that long game. You guys know how that goes. But Kane County Toy Show, I'll be there on April 24th, and then a couple days later, I'll be down in Dallas, Texas. Oh, I'm going to get my old Waylon Jennings Western wear. I'm going to get a cowboy hat, maybe a Terry Funk shirt, and see what's going on in old Dallas, Texas. Hopefully I have time to hit a few stores down there. I would really like to see how the other half lives for sure, but I do got some meetings and some presentations I got to do. We'll see. Hopefully I can make it to at least some Walmart and Targets, and best case scenario, I can make it to some actual toy shops down there in Dallas. I would love to see that. I've never been to Texas in my life, so it's my first time ever in Texas, so I'm excited about that, but I'm not sure I'm going to have a car down there. I think we're getting shuttled around, so I don't know how far I'm going to get without a car. And I feel weird kind of Ubering. Can you take me to this Target? Just wait 10 minutes. I'll be right back. Then you can take me to Walmart. It'll take 10 minutes there too. That might be a strange conversation, but some interesting stuff coming up very, very soon. And then the final thing this week at the top portion of weekly purchases, of course, album of the week. And what I've been listening to a lot lately this week, especially, is Riot. The band Riot, New York metal staples from the early 80s. So underrated, so underappreciated, very influential in a lot of bands. But I listened to Riot 5, Armor of Light, one of their newer albums. Deep, deep cut. You know, not everybody is in. A lot of people that know Riot love the old stuff. Maybe haven't jumped on board for some of the new stuff, but I really do enjoy the new stuff as well. Definitely give Riot a spin. I always say Swords and Tequila is a pretty good start, but you guys choose your own adventure on Riot. If you've never heard them, definitely check them out. So there it is. That's the news. That's the first half. Let's get down to it. Let's get down to the weekly purchases. All right, here we are. It's time for weekly purchases, and this ended up being a very big week. It started off very, very slow, But the end of the week, things really ramped up. We really got after some stuff. And we're going to do part 1, and we're going to start off with a lot of Lucy's. We mentioned some of these earlier, but let's start it again. We got King Valkyrie, of course, from the Thor Love and Thunder wave. And then we got, right there, Star-Lord. Now, here's one thing I did with this Star-Lord. A lot of people were asking. The old Star-Lord head was so much better than the new one. I ended up doing a head swap between these two, and I'll take some little glamour shots on this. But man, this new Star-Lord with the old head, this would move way up my favorite list. As you guys know, I ranked that in order at the end of the video. But very, very cool, this Star-Lord. Coming in hot this week from the Love and Thunder. Of course, we got the regular Thor. Interesting look on Thor. We'll see how it looks in the actual movie. We got Gore. Don't call him Gore, but he's Gore, Christian Bale. He came in this week. We got Groot. I really needed this Groot as well from Love and Thunder because I did not have the old edition, so I was happy to get this version of Groot. And then, of course, my favorite of the line was the Revenger Thor. How cool is this? I mean, like I said in that unboxing, we could use this for so many different aspects in our figure feds, figure collections, wrestling even if you really wanted to. Very, very cool looking Thor figure right there. And then we got the Mighty Thor, very controversial. People don't like her being Thor. They don't like Valkyrie being a king. There's a lot of negativity towards this line, and I'm okay with it. I try to give everything a chance, try to look through it all, but man, there is a lot of hate for this line out there. I think undeserved. I don't know. I get why people are upset maybe on some of the name changes and you know, she should be Queen Valkyrie, not King, but I'm going to let it play out in the movie. We'll see how it goes. It's not going to ruin my day, I guess, at the end of things. That's how I always do, and that's how we sit here at the table, of course, here at the table. So there you go. And then we got the Korg Build-A-Figure. So an interesting wave. There it is. A lot of people not liking Korg as the Build-A-Figure, but it is what it is. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit, as we said in the review. So we got that going on. Of course, we've got the Undertaker Ringside Collectible Exclusive, SummerSlam 2001. A mixed bag, a mixed one. There definitely could be some improvements on this one. It's just a very, very interesting Ringside Collectible Exclusive. Check out that review on the channel, of course. And then, of course, you know how excited I was for this one. Got to thank that old outlaw Waylon Jennings. He found the Mean Mark Callus for me. He found me too so I could make a Sid Skyscraper as well. Obviously, these two did not tag team together. For a sec, I thought they did, but it was Mike Enos under a mask. That was the mystery Skyscraper. It wasn't Sid. But man, can you imagine if they had at least a couple of tag team matches together? I hope we can get a Dan Spivey somewhere. It would have been great if we would have got just a Dan Spivey head to make our own, maybe. I don't know. But I love this Mean Mark. Going to be probably a figure of the year for me. I've really been looking forward to it, and they nailed this one out of the park. Very, very cool. I did this week try to repay the favorite of Waylon Jennings. I found one of those COG Power Ranger figures at my local Walmart. I went up to check out, and once again, the Street Date Mafia was right after me. It didn't scan, so the associate came over. She called the manager. The manager came, tried to scan it, looked at the computer screen, looked at it, and said, "Oh yeah, I can't sell this," and walked off. Didn't explain anything to me, didn't talk to me, just walked off, and I just sat there, and the associate just goes, "I don't know, you can't sell it." And that was it. Like, come on, Walmart, you got to have better customer service than that. That's unbelievable. But unfortunately, I did not get Waylon as Power Ranger because I didn't know there was a street date on these. I just knew he was looking for him. I saw him. I tried to buy him, and that was it. So, sorry, Waylon. I'll get it eventually. I'll find that COG for you, hopefully sooner than later. We'll see what happens. But that's some Lucy stuff. And then I got one more Lucy this week. A heavy, heavy hitter Lucy. One of the heaviest hitters in the Classic Superstars line. As you guys know, we're going to be unboxing a lot of Classic Superstars like I talked about. But some of them are worth so much money in package. I said to myself, I should really look around and see if I can find some loose versions so I can spare this one to be an unboxed. And which one am I talking about? We're talking about King Haku. One of the most requested elites. Chella is going to come out with some King Haku action. But I did get Haku this week. I got a loose version. So I will sell my Min on Card one. I don't need to keep this one around. So I will be selling that King Haku on Patreon. Like I said, one of the granddaddy of them all as far as Classic Superstars go. One of the most valuable and rarest Classic Superstars. For whatever reason, very strange, but everybody needs a little Haku in their life, and that's exactly what I got this week. So Haku through the door. A few other things here. Doctor Strange. I don't know about you guys. You guys probably have a Target Red card. I do as well. Well, Target made us change, my wife and I, made us change to a different Target credit card. Whatever. That's fine. They did that. But in making us change over, I lost all my pre-orders. The all-new Tiger Force G.I. Joes that are upcoming, pre-orders went away. I lost a bunch of them. I didn't lose all of them, but for whatever reason, I lost a bunch of the Target pre-orders, and this is one of the ones I lost as well. The Defender Doctor Strange. Luckily, I saw him on the shelf peg this week. I said, well, I'll just pick him up the old-fashioned way, and that's exactly what I did. So look for this Doctor Strange unboxing sometime this week here on the channel. I also, via Target, did get a pre-order. I got my Sunman through the mail, and I got my unpunched Minty Sunman through the mail. I will say a little frustrated on this one is I went to put it in my protective case. Because of the box and the weird angle of the plastic, he does not fit in a ringside, or not a ringside, but an MOC Masters Zolo World Masters Universe case. So we need to find a different case for this one. I can't put him on the wall because he's unpunched. The tough times of a collector, but I don't know if anybody else has called that out, but that is a little bit frustrating, is what it is. WWEshop.com, they had some big time clearances this week and sales around WrestleMania. I took full advantage. I think this was like $11.99 with discount. I got that Roddy Piper statue. You guys know I got the Ric Flair, and I also got the Ultimate Warrior one. I said, you know what, I should get the Roddy Piper. This is exactly what I did. I felt that was a good enough deal for like $11.99. So I got that. And then speaking of bobbleheads, we talked about them earlier. I did get the new Ultimate Warrior bobblehead. It's a Foco bobblehead, but it's a repaint. So we unboxed this on the channel before, but this is the repainted version of this Ultimate Warrior. So we got a little bit of a change with this one, but I'm okay. We'll see what's going on. We'll compare it to the other one. I'm always excited for a new Ultimate Warrior statue, action figure, collectible in my collection, and that's what that Ultimate Warrior will be. So stay tuned for the unboxing of this one. And then Marvel Legends, Hasbro, Fortnite, Amazon. I picked this bad boy up, Metal Mouth. He was on sale. I had some gift cards in Amazon. I said, you know what, I'm going to pick this guy up, see what's going on. He might go good with my Marvel Legends, might go good with my G.I. Joes. We'll see. You guys know I like to dabble in some Fortnites from time to time. That's exactly what I did right here. So there's round one of weekly purchases. Let me clean up all these loosies here. Let's get into round two. And round two features one of the longest games of all time for old Kyle. Finally through the door this week. I can say I completed another collection. Stay tuned in part two. All right, let's get down to round two. Weekly purchases. Got a lot of good stuff in this week, and the stuff continues via Hasbro Pulse. Yes, free shipping, Hasbro Pulse members. Fennec Shand from the Book of Boba Fett Black Series, and then we got from The Mandalorian. We've got Boba Fett Tython. Tython? Yeah, sure it is. But there it is. 2 more Black Series through the door. Working on those Black Series figures is exactly what we're doing. Then Waylon Jennings, when he found those 2 Mark Callis figures for me, I said, wait a minute, they got the Target Circle thing going on. If you spend $50 in toys, you get $10 off. Spend $100, get $25 off. Gotta get a deal out there. You guys know how it goes. So hopefully you guys found some stuff this week at Target and you got it yourself a little bit of a deal. Every bit helps with inflation going on. Unfortunately for me, I couldn't find anything to get to $100, but I did get to use the $50 one here with Waylon, and I ended up getting a long gamer. I've been threatening to get this one for like 6 months. Well, I ended up getting it free with that coupon. So for $10, I got Io Shirai, Street Clothes Io Shirai, for, you know, when she's doing Io Shirai stuff. But I got this one. I felt that was warranted. I felt that was all right. And that's what I did. So I got Io Shirai, and then I got another basic this week via Ringside. I got The Miz in suit, Series 129. Not too shabby. Always cool to get suited figures. I always enjoy suited figures, and that's what I got. I got The Miz this week via Ringside. And speaking of Ringside, had to get this bad boy. You guys saw me unbox it last week. I thought I ordered 2. I only ordered 1, so I ordered another one this week. For my Mint on Card collection, I got the Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley. Really fabulous set. This is probably the leading of the pack for AEW figures for me so far in 2022. Absolutely love this pack. Must have. Can't recommend this one strong enough. Get that one. Check out the review on the channel if you missed it. And then I did find this right before weekly purchases. I found Edge chilling on the shelf, just the regular Edge. I'm supposed to have another Edge coming Saturday in the mail. Hopefully that does hang tight and I do get that. Hoping for the Chase, as this is the regular, but we got Edge. We'll unbox him on the channel. And the rest of Legends 14 next week on the channel as well, because I think they're all coming Saturday for me. As I'm filming this right now, they should be here anytime, so be ready for that. I also found this at my local Target, the old King Grayskull. There he is, finally through the door. Interesting figure. Can't wait to dive in and see what all the fuss is about. I'm not sure if there's really fuss on that one, but it's fun to pretend. It's fun to pretend. And then, got to get a deal once again. Check your Walmarts. A lot of clearance going on. Clearance going on at Target as well. I did finally break down and get the Bebop Rocksteady Ninja Turtle packs from Walmart. The Playmates one. I said, what the heck? I was eyeing it. $25 a pop on this. I felt like it was a good enough of a deal on clearance that I jumped. The bad thing is, though, now I got to get the Shredder and Triceraton pack. And I remember seeing those, I think, once. You definitely see these two packs. I should probably grab the other pack, huh? You definitely see these two hanging around much more than the other two packs. But now I feel like I got to complete the series, so I got to somehow track down those other two packs. So the hunt never ends, and I'm really the fool. Yeah, I got these on clearance, then I'll have to pay up for the other two. Probably net out even at the end of the day. But I did pick these up. Turtle Mania continues here on the channel. Every week we're doing Turtle something. Got a lot of Super 7s to get through as well, so stay tuned for those reviews on the channel. Did forget this, when I ordered the ringside pack, I also got another pack of AEW stands, as I'm going to need this one. You guys see AEW's popping stuff out at a record pace. Going to definitely need those in the future. So picked up some more stands. Always a good way to flesh out your order. If you're just a little bit away from free shipping or a different code, always use those to help your order get over the hump, I guess you would say. So there you go. And then I did also get this Alexa Bliss from the damaged pile. It is not damaged, though, and I needed another Alexa Bliss to open. As I talked about in the review of this, I said, I feel like I need 2 of these loose. This is my other one, but I do not see any damage to this one at all. So it is what it is. I will definitely open up that Alexa Bliss. And then we got to thank that other old outlaw. And I don't know if he's really an outlaw, but we'll pretend for this video. Old David C. Anderson, he helped me out big time this week. We talked about Dougie. He helped me. He let me unbox his Batista, but guess what? I gave it back to him. I was on the hunt for my own Batista, and you guys know my Ultimate collection. I got to get a loose one, got to get a mint on card one. Well, David C. Anderson came in really hot this week for me, and he truly gave me that one. He found 2 of them on his little hunt, and he found a damaged one, beat up one. Well, guess what? There's Kyle's opener. And then he found a minty one as well for me. So David C. Anderson, thank you. Great supporter, great helper of the channel. Very happy to get Batista through the door. Batista Madness is now over for now until the next go around we have, and hopefully there's no street date issues and all that kind of fun stuff on the next go around. But Batista through the door, ready to go. So now we got one thing left, and this is the long game thing I was telling you about. Now this is an interesting collection I started maybe 5 years ago. Did not have these as a kid, didn't want anything to do with them as a kid. Then you guys know nostalgia, and you remember seeing them, and you come across them at a good price. And I got the entire set -1 at a very cheap deal, especially compared to prices right now. Prices right now are through the roof, and that's why it stopped me from buying this one for so many years, because I was not going to pay up for it. However, in the last week, you always have to have your eBay save searches. You never know. Got to get a deal. You never know when something might come up. This week, that exactly happened. I got in a bidding war. I bid at the last second. Ended up paying well under $200 for this guy, which is a screaming deal if you know the values of these. What am I talking about? Well, we're throwing it all the way back to the 80s, maybe early 90s. Don't quote me, but we're throwing it all the way back to the old days of the wrestling buddies. And really, the hardest to find wrestling buddy is Jake the Snake Roberts. So I got the Jake the Snake Roberts wrestling buddy. Beautiful condition here, really clean throughout. And like I said, under $200. That's a heck of a deal if you guys know your wrestling buddies right now. Very, very hard to get in good condition as well, and that's what I got with this one exactly. So very happy to have my old pal Jake the Snake in the collection. He can join the rest of the Tonka wrestling buddies. Now I have the complete set in my collection. It just took me, I don't know, 30 years or whatever it was, but really the last 5 actively collecting. It took me 5 years of the long game to be able to pay the price I wanted to pay. So, gotta say, pretty happy to have Jake the Snake Roberts in the collection. So that is weekly purchases this week. You guys in the comments down below, what did you pick up this week? What are you on the hunt for? What did you find? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, thumbs up this video. You made it this far, you might as well. And then subscribe to the channel, hit the old notification bell. Follow along on Patreon. I always say you can get this video and tons of other videos much earlier on the Patreon. There's bonus videos, exclusive videos, giveaways, Q&A exclusive videos, a lot going on the Patreon, so check that one out. And best of all, you support the channel. And then, of course, social media. You can hit me up at SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson, and ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. We got a big one this week on the channel, Thursday, Top 10 Undertaker. Be ready for that. And then we'll have to decide, who do we do for 16,000? What would be a good top 10? We'll figure that out as well with some of the help from some of the Patreon members of what we should do for that video. So a lot of content to come, a lot of surprises to come, a collection tour coming in 2022. It's been a little complicated, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Trust me like a young Jake Snake Roberts. We'll get there. It's going to be everything you want and even more. So stay tuned for that here in the very foreseeable future. We'll call it that. Look for me at the King County Toy Show August? Why not? April 24th. I'll be there working around, so if you see me, come say hello. I'll be around. And then maybe if you're in Dallas, Texas too, who knows. But a lot going on the channel, a lot going on in collecting, a lot going on across the world, and you guys know how that goes. So there it is, but we know one thing I'm going to be doing. I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into the weekend. I'll see you guys all real soon.